There's a type of property that quietly makes the best investors rich, and then most first time buyers walk right past it. It's the small multifamily, the duplex, the triplex, the fourplex. One roof, one loan, but two, three, even four rent checks landing every single month. It's is the closest thing real estate has to a cheat code. So why doesn't everybody buy one? Because the moment you walk into a normal bank and ask to finance it, they hit you with three walls. They want a bigger down payment. They want to dig through your personal income to prove you can cover all those units. And they cap how many you're even allowed to own. So today, I'm going to show you the one loan that knocks all three of those walls so you can buy two 4-unit rental properties, qualify on a building instead of your paycheck, and actually put less money down than you probably think. Let's get into it. Quick note, before we dive in, I'm a licensed mortgage broker, and this is education, not financial advice for your exact situation. Loan terms may vary by lender, and they change over time. So the numbers I use today are clean and round examples to make the math easy to follow. Use this to understand the pieces fit. Then talk to a licensed pro. That's what I'm here for, about your actual deal. So let's start with a small multifamily is such a powerful place to put your money. The obvious reason is the rent. Instead of the tenant paying one rent, you've got two, three, or four tenants all paying all under one roof. You buy it once, you close once. You maintain one roof and one yard, but the income stacks. And there's a safety net hiding in there too. It's a single family rental goes vacant, your income from that property just drops to zero, and you're covering the whole mortgage yourself. But if one unit in your fourplex goes empty, the other three are still paying. The building keeps feeding itself while you fill one vacancy. That's a much calmer way to own real estate. But here's the part that almost nobody explains, and it's one of the most important things in this whole video. In the lending world, anything from 1 to 4 units is treated as residential property, the same simple, friendly category as the house you live in. The second you hit 5 units or more, you cross a line into commercial financing, and that is completely different, harder, more expensive world. So a fourplex sits right on the edge. It is the biggest, most income producing property you can still buy with simple residential loan. That's the sweet spot. 4 doors, 4 rents, and still easy lane of financing. Now, one quick fork in the road. If you're planning to actually live in one of the units yourself, that's called a house hacking. And it opens up a special owner occupied loans with really low down payments. That's an amazing first move, and honestly, it deserves its own video. But today I'm talking about the investor. You're not moving in, you're buying this purely as a rental. And that's exactly where this special loan comes in. Because here's what happens when you take that pure investor multifamily deal to a normal bank. You hit those 3 walls I mentioned, and they're bigger than people expect. Wall number 1 is the down payment. On a single family rental, a conventional loan usually wants about 20% down. But the moment the property has 2, 3, or 4 units, conventional bumps up you to a 25% down. On a $400,000 fourplex, that jumps from 20% to 25%, and the extra 20 grand out of your pocket just for having more doors. Wall number 2 is income wall, and that is one that stops most people cold. A conventional loan doesn't qualify the property, it qualifies you, your job, your tax returns, your debt to income ratio. And here's the cruel little twist. The more rentals you buy, the more mortgage payments show on your record. And conventional will only count a fraction of your expected rent, often around 75% of it, to offset that. So, the very thing that makes a fourplex amazing, all the monthly income, can actually count against you on paper. So you're self-employed, or you write a lot of your taxes, or you already own a couple rentals, your income on paper just won't stretch far enough and you get declined. And wall 3 is the cap. Even if you sell through income checks, conventional financing through Fannie Mae maxes out to 10 properties. And it gets painful. Bigger reserves, bigger pricing, well before you ever get there. So conventional can flat run out of room right when you're starting to build momentum. Real quick, if those 3 walls just explained something you've been banging your head against, do me a favor and tap the like button. It genuinely helps a small channel like this get shown to more investors who are trying to figure this exact thing out. Okay, here's how you get around all 3. The loan that knocks down all 3 walls is a DSCR loan. DSCR stands for Debt Service Coverage Ratio. And the whole idea is simple. Instead of qualifying you, it qualifies the property. The only real question it asks is whether the rent covers the payment. No tax returns, no W-2s, no personal income at all. And here is why a 2 to 4 unit property and a DSCR loan are a match made in heaven. DSCR works by adding up all the rent the property brings in and dividing it by the full monthly payment. Well, on a multifamily, you've got 2, 3, or 4 rents stacking up on top of each other against that one payment. So instead of a single rent check straining to cover the mortgage, you've got a whole pile of them. That makes for a strong ratio, which is exactly what a DSCR lender wants to see. The single family investor is sweating just to reach the break-even line. The fourplex investor usually sails right past it. Now watch what happens to those 3 walls. The down payment wall, gone, and then some. Most people assume the no income check loan must demand a bigger down payment. On a multifamily, it's actually the opposite. A DSCR loan often stays right at 20% down, even on a 2 to 4 unit, while conventional has a demanding 25%. So on the exact same fourplex, the DSCR loan can take less cash to close, not more. The income wall, gone. Because the loan never looks at your income in the first place, it doesn't matter what your tax return says. Because the building is qualifying, not you, and the cap, gone too. DSCR loans have no 10 property limit as long as each building stands on its own and the rent covers the payment. You can keep stacking them, 10, 20, more. On top of that, because DSCR loans are built for investors, you can usually close right in the name of your LLC, which is cleaner for your protecting yourself. And before you ask, no, you're not paying some huge premium for all of this. A myth I love to bust. People assume a DSCR loan comes with a much higher rate. It doesn't. In today's market, DSCR rates are very similar to comparable conventional Fannie Mae loan. So you get easier qualifications, lower down payment on a multifamily, and no cap, without some crazy, scary rate penalty for privilege. Let me make all of this concrete with a real example. Say you find a triplex, 3 units, and each one rents for $1,600 a month. That's $4,800 a month in total rent coming in. The price is $450,000. You put 20% down, that's $90,000, leaving a loan of $360,000. At an example rate of 7.5%, your all-in monthly payment, principal, interest, taxes, and insurance comes to right around $3,200 a month. Now here's the magic. To find your DSCR, you take that $4,800 rent and divide it by the $3,200 payment. That comes out to about 1.5. Remember, the lender just needs to see 1.0. Where the rent actually covers the payment, you're at 1.5. The rent covers the payment with 50% to spare. The lender looks at that and says, easily. And notice why. It wasn't your salary that got you approved. It was 3 rent checks stacking up against one mortgage. A single family house with that same payment would have to rent for full $3,200 just to break even. Your triplex blew that past it. Now, a DSCR loan on a multifamily isn't a free for all. So let me keep you out of the potholes. You'll still need a decent credit, generally in the low to mid 600s or better. You'll need reserves, a few months of payments sitting in the bank. And on a multi-unit, the lender may want a little more cushion. Since there are more units to maintain, the appraiser won't just value the building, they'll also document what each unit can rent for. And those rents need to support your numbers. And remember, that line I drew, keep it at 4 units or fewer. The second you reach for that 5th unit, you've left the easy residential world and stepped into a commercial lending, which is a whole different conversation. So let's put this all together. A small multifamily, a duplex, triplex, fourplex gives you multiple rents checks under one roof. A built-in cushion when a unit goes vacant, and it's still the easy residential lane of financing. The trouble is a normal bank meets you with 3 walls, a bigger down payment, an income check that punishes you for scaling, and a cap on how many you can own. A DSCR loan knocks down all 3. It qualifies the building instead of you. All of those stacked rents make up for a strong ratio. You often put less than down than conventional. There's no property cap, and you can close in an LLC. That's not a loophole. That's just the tool serious investors use to climb the ladder. One building and several rent checks at a time. And remember, this is education, not personalized advice, so talk to a licensed pro about your exact deal. That's genuinely what I'm here for. And this finally made multifamily financing make sense. Do me a favor, hit the like and subscribe. This channel is small, and every like and every subscribe tells the YouTube to put this in front of more investors trying to build something real. It's free, it takes 1 second, and it's the single biggest thing that keeps these videos coming. I'll see you on the next one.